Ben Roethlisberger, interviewed last week by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, said a lot of things. One of the topics, modern NFL players and the extent to which they're coddled. Said Ben, the team was so important, it was all about the team. Now it's about me and this, that, and the other. I might be standing on a soapbox a little bit, but that's my biggest takeaway from when I started to the end. It turned from a team first to a me type attitude. It was hard. It's hard for these young guys too. Social media, they're treated so well in college. Now this new NIL stuff, which is unbelievable. They're treated so special. They're coddled at a young age because college coaches need them to win too. Here's Cam Heyward, Steelers defensive lineman, responding to Ben's comments about young players being coddled.
Man, they rub me the wrong way. Ben is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he has played 18 years in our league, all with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was a little bit upset about it because I was always raised to protect the locker room, protect the guys. And the way it seems is, and this is my point of view, this is what I see. It looks as though we're looked at as selfish players. And I think that's not the point. I think we have a lot of young players that come from different backgrounds. I think we have guys that have experienced different things than what I or somebody else might experience. And that doesn't make them selfish, or it doesn't make them more of a me type attitude. There are a lot more guys you think that are team first guys than just me type and attitude. I took offense to that. I think when you have young guys, it's up to the leadership to step up, myself included. I'm accountable for those guys, and obviously we haven't had a Super Bowl in a long time, and maybe that's where Ben's like, man, if younger guys had grown up, but man, it's up for the older guys to step up and, hold guys accountable.
And look, when we tweeted a link to the story with Ben's comments about young players being coddled, the reaction I noticed more than any other was every team that wins the Super Bowl has young players. Every team that thrives has young players. You can't say, well, we've only won 3 postseason games since 2010 because our young players are coddled. And Chris, the other side of this too, this was a slap at Mike Tomlin. We didn't include it in our quote, but Ben Roethlisberger specifically said that he wasn't coddled at the University of Miami of Ohio by Terry Hepner. He wasn't coddled by Bill Cowher. Well, he didn't mention Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin has been his coach for 15 years. And I think that what Ben may view as coddling by Tomlin of guys like Antonio Brown, I think there's a different way to view it. Tomlin is the master at getting the most out of guys who may be inclined to behave in a way that would be problematic. He knows how to speak to their better angels and keep them from going off the rails. I don't know that that's coddling. I think that's good management of difficult personalities.
I would agree with you there. Yeah, I mean, again, Mike Tomlin's not making the picks of these guys a lot of the time. That's not him. He's not the GM. So now he has to make it work. Oh, well, I got this guy. Damn, he's good. Oh, man, he's a little bit of a handful off the field. So, okay, I'm going to have to do a few things just to make it work so we can get him on the field. I can make the GM look good. I can make the quarterback look good. And the organization looks good, and I look good. And, yeah, okay, well, he got coddled a little bit. I bent one little rule for him here and there and whatever else. Okay, but he goes on the football field and performs, and that's the ultimate litmus test to be, okay, you want to, cut a few corners or be the man in an organization. It goes on in every organization. So I understand that rubbing Cam Heyward the wrong way too, because I think, Big Ben, first off, if you not viewed necessarily as the greatest teammate in the history of football, I mean, you can go with a lot of players. I know you've talked to some ex-players that would tell you the same thing. So he's not necessarily that. He had his own set of rules with Pittsburgh to a degree too. I mean, hey, I've been at training camp practices there. Practice is starting. Everybody's practicing. Everybody has a helmet on except Big Ben for the first 30, 40 minutes of practice. I don't know. I mean, that's making your own rules, in my opinion. Everyone's practicing. Put your helmet on. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of stories you hear throughout the year. And then, I just don't think it's fair to just blame the current player. Life has changed. The world has changed. When Ben was drafted in 2004, not everybody's life was put on blast on social media all the time. So that's a big issue with some of these young kids. It's different that way. Then you add in the fact that the league has become more of a business now than ever before. So guys got to make some tough decisions and think about me a little bit every now and then so they get paid. So I didn't love that Big Ben said that either. I didn't. It did sound like a little soapbox. I think it did sound a little bit like he's forgetting what he was like as a young football player to a degree. And, yeah, I could see it rubbing Cam Heyward the wrong way.
Yeah, he was a problem in the locker room early in his career.
Right.
He was not a popular guy. He was
at
not
all.
well-liked. Surly and standoffish was his reputation. Now, I wasn't there, but I've heard enough over the years to make me believe there was something to it. And he was the king of embellishing and exaggerating injuries. It started in the 2004 AFC Championship game after they lost to the Patriots. The excuse was, I played with 2 broken toes. And Bill Cowher came out and said, he didn't have any broken toes. What are you talking about? So yeah, I think it's just I hate to say it's just a good old-fashioned generation gap, but Cam Heyward's point is right on the money. It's for the older players to help the young
Mike,
players
right.
grow and develop.
Yeah.
It can't all be the coach. The coach has to try to get the best out of the players, but to the extent that there needs to be accountability, to the extent that you need a code red, not that I condone that, but some kind of tough love, some kind of get in a guy's face and tell him what's tolerated and what's not tolerated, what's expected and what's not expected, where the line is between being selfish and being true to your team. That's where the players have to do it, and I suspect that Ben Roethlisberger probably not. I remember when Emmanuel Sanders went to Denver.
Yes, remember that?
And what he said about the difference between Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger. And Peyton Manning knows how to develop the relationship and ultimately hold the player accountable. And I don't think Ben is either wired to do it or didn't want to do it. He just wanted to show up and play football.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's the way Big Ben was. You know, again, you go back to, the interview that I had with him a few years ago, right? Doesn't throw footballs in the offseason. So he's not getting time with those receivers then to get the rapport that you're talking about. Hey, I want to do this or do that. That's how you get in the trust tree. Hey, I'm your buddy. We've been on the field together. Now when it's week 2, I might have to yell at you one time. It won't be that big of a deal because, we're buddies and we had a lot of time together and we've worked on these things and we know it's all coming from a good place. But, yeah, Big Ben was not that type of leader. He was not. He was, I'm Big Ben. I'm here. I know the playbook. I don't know all the defenses they're going to play. It doesn't really matter. I'll make it happen and we'll win the game. That's kind of the way Big Ben went after it. It was refreshing. It's cool. But it's not Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, that type of guy where it's just all time, all year long, every day. It just absolutely is everything I do, everything I think about, everything is calculated towards that. That's not the way Big Ben was wired. And, yeah, I think that's going to rub guys like Cam Heyward, who is a team guy. And there's a lot of team guys on Pittsburgh. There is. So I think that's where Cam Heyward's looking at it, too. He's going, wait, let's not just talk about, like, Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. We had a lot of other guys here that were all in on the football team that made them really good. And I think that's where probably Cam Heyward's probably a little pissed about it.
Emmanuel Sanders, appearing on NFL Network in January of 2019 after the relationship between Antonio Brown and the Steelers became disintegrated, said that Roethlisberger should have taken it on himself to see to it that things never reached the point where Brown ended up on the trade block. Sanders said that he and other Steelers receivers have noticed that Roethlisberger will go on the radio and blame them for problems with the team's passing game, and it wears on them over time. Here's the quote from Sanders. Me and Mike Wallace used to talk about this. If Ben called me out on a radio show, I'd walk up to him and say, don't do that. Keep my name out of your mouth. You're the leader of this team. Be a leader. That's the reason why my comments when I first became a Denver Bronco, I said Peyton Manning is a better leader than Ben Roethlisberger. It's all come to fruition. I don't lie. I don't hate anybody. I just speak the truth.
Well, Antonio Brown said he didn't hang out with him ever either. I mean, there's a lot of these type of stories. So that says a lot, though.
Well, what I like about this the most is Ben is willing to talk. Ben is still in Pittsburgh. And I think Ben's going to stir things up from time to time, depending upon how things go without him.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.